Alright, let's take a look at number 3. Jesus and George were asked to find the range, that's a key word for us, of the missing side of a triangle. The two given sides are 10 and 22. Jesus says the third side is less than 32. George says the third side is greater than 10. Who is correct? Explain. We're going to have a sentence at least for our answer. So if we go back and think about this for a minute, we have two sides of a triangle. Let's say we have 22 here, and we have this one here, which is 10. And so what we're trying to figure out is, what could this third side be? And so what happens if I keep drawing this 10 until it gets as close as possible? If this is 10 and I were to put it right on top of this, so if this is 10, what would this other side here be? If I put it right on top of the side that's 22. So if this were 10, then that means this would have to be 12. Now let's go the other way. And just keep expanding this thing until it makes a straight line. So if this is 10, and this, what we started with here, was 22. So if this is 22 and this is 10, then this whole thing here would be 32. And so what's important to notice about this is that when this is flat, that's not a triangle, and when this other 10 came right on down to the 22 and actually touched the line, that wasn't a triangle. So 32 and 12 don't work. And so that's where this idea of a range comes. If this were just a little bit above that, so a little bit less than 32, then I could draw this third side. And so that's where we get our formula from, and even not really a formula. So we subtract our two sides given, and we add our two sides given. So our two sides were 22 and 10, so 22 minus 10 gives us 12. And so now we add our 22 and 10 to give us 32. So now if we look at, Jesus says the third side is 32, is less than 32. So if you were to pick a number that's less than 32, that would work as long as that the number he picks is also bigger than 12. Whereas George says the third side is greater than 10, and so greater than 10 could be 11, and so that wouldn't work. So if I had to pick between these two answers, I would say Jesus is correct. So Jesus is correct because the third side has to be less than (32) and greater than 12. So as long as Jesus picks a side, our number that's less than 32 and bigger than 12, he's correct. Okay, so now as we look at number 4, find the value of each variable. So in order to do this, we know, alright, so as we look at number 4, find the value of each variable. We know that for any triangle, the angles will add up to 108. So if we were to start solving that, 51 plus z plus x, I wouldn't be able to do anything because I have two unknowns. So I don't want to start there. So now as we look at the other triangle, we have 33y and 40. So when I have two numbers with one variable, I can solve that. So let's go ahead and take 33 plus 40 plus y equals 180. And so now we just solve. 33 and 40 make 73. And to solve that, we subtract 73 from both sides. And so we get y equals 107. So that means that this angle right here is 107 degrees. And so now we're going to be able to use this to help us in this triangle. So right now it's still 51 plus z plus x, so that's not a help. But remember that this right here is a straight line, and a straight line is going to add up to 180. So we're going to be able to take x plus y, well now y has a value of 107, and that's going to equal 180. So now when we solve this, we minus the 107 to both sides. We get x equals 180 minus 107 is 73. Now I know that this is 73 degrees. So now I can figure out what z is, because I'll be able to do 51 plus 73 plus 180, plus z equals 180. So we get 124 plus z equals 180 minus the 124 from both sides. And so z is going to equal 56. So we have x of 73, we have y of 107, and we have z is 56.